Most men spend their whole lives chasing moments of validation, not realizing that every time they do, they weaken themselves a little more. See, the world taught you to react. Social media taught you to crave likes. Movies taught you that being romantic means constantly chasing, proving, convincing. But what nobody taught you was how to sit in your own strength. What nobody showed you was how powerful it is to do nothing when everything in you is screaming to act. That's where this rule begins. The 1,000 times rule isn't just about women. It's about you versus you. It's about learning to ignore the itch to explain yourself. It's about feeling the sting of silence and still staying composed. It's about watching her mood change like the weather and standing there like a mountain, unshaken. The first time you do it, it burns. Your chest gets tight, your mind races with, what if she loses interest? Or, what if she thinks I don't care? That's the test. That's the first rep. And every rep after that, it gets easier. Every ignored temptation, every message you don't send, every emotional hook you don't bite builds something in you that no one can take away. It builds a calm that women can't explain but always feel. That calm isn't learned by reading posts or watching content. It's built in the moment when you have the choice to react or to hold frame. And holding frame is exactly that, a choice. The weak man reacts. The grounded man breathes. And in that breath is your freedom. You want to know why some guys never get respected by women? It's not because they're bad looking. It's because they're too easy to emotionally move. This rule makes you rare because it makes you unmoved. Here's the brutal truth. Most guys don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they don't have the discipline to do it when it matters. You've probably heard, all the advice before, don't double text, don't chase, don't react to her games, and in your logical mind you agree. But when she pulls back, when she posts something aimed at making you jealous, when she gives you mixed signals, that logic disappears. Why? Because your emotions haven't been trained. Your nervous system is still addicted to approval. You're still attached to the outcome. And that's where the 1,000 times rule comes in. It's not about memorizing lines or having a slick response ready. It's about building emotional muscle memory. It's about becoming a man who doesn't break just because she's testing him. Women don't test you because they're evil. They test you because they want to feel your strength. They want to know deep down that you won't fold when life gets hard, that you won't break when things get uncertain. And the only way you can prove that to yourself and to her is through repetition. 1,000 ignored urges. 1,000 moments where you want to reach out but don't. 1,000 silent reactions to disrespect or games. And with every single rep, you carve a new identity into your nervous system. Slowly, you stop needing her attention. Slowly, you stop fearing her silence. And that's when everything changes. That's when you stop trying to get her, and she starts trying to get you. Not because you played her, not because you manipulated her, but because you finally became the man who doesn't need to prove himself to anyone. That's magnetic. That's what they chase. Most men have no idea how powerful restraint really is. In a world where everyone is reacting, posting, commenting, chasing, being the man who doesn't move is like standing still in a room full of people running in circles. It's rare. It's magnetic. And that's why it works. You've probably seen it before. That one guy who doesn't say much, who doesn't always respond, who seems like he's got better things to do, and yet women flock to him. Why? Because his energy says one thing. I don't need you to like me for me to like myself. And that's the core of this rule. Emotional self-respect. Every time you hold your ground instead of reacting, you're not just passing a test with her, you're building self-trust. You're telling yourself, I'm not going to betray myself for temporary comfort. Most guys betray themselves constantly. They say they won't chase until she goes cold. They say they won't explain themselves until she gives them the silent treatment. They fold under pressure because they've never practiced discipline. When no one's watching, That's why this is deeper than women. This is about life. Women are just the mirror showing you where you're weak. Every test she gives you is a mirror reflecting your insecurities. And if you don't face those insecurities, they'll run your life. But when you do face them, when you sit with that discomfort, when you don't flinch, when you don't react, you stop being controlled by the game. You become the game. You stop asking, why isn't she replying, and start thinking, does this situation even deserve my energy? That shift is where your power is born. The 1,000 times rule isn't punishment, it's freedom, because the man who doesn't need anything can't be controlled by anyone. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most women don't even know they're testing you. It's instinctual. It's biological. It's built into their subconscious to check if you're as strong as you seem. And that's why most men fail. They think it's personal. They take it emotionally. But it's not personal. It's primal. When she pulls back, when she flirts with other guys, when she gives you silence after a deep conversation, it's not always because she's playing games. It's because her subconscious wants to know, is this man as grounded as he pretends to be? And if you fail that test by chasing, explaining, begging, or breaking your frame, you don't just lose attraction, you lose her respect. That's why the 1,000 times rule isn't just a strategy, it's a lifestyle. It's training for war before the battle even begins. You don't sharpen your sword when you see the enemy, you sharpen it in the quiet moments when nobody's around. Every ignored impulse is you forging that sword. Every time you want to double text and don't, you sharpen the blade. Every time you feel that ache to explain yourself but stay silent, you're becoming sharper. And here's the twist. Once you truly start living this, it's not just about women anymore. It's about how you show up everywhere. In business, in friendships, in conflict. People feel your groundedness. They sense that you're not easily moved. And because you're rare, you become valuable. Not because you're loud, but because you're immovable. Women respect men who can't be shaken, because deep down they know the world is chaotic and unstable. And they want to stand next to someone who doesn't flinch. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to shake. And that's built one rep at a time. There's something powerful about a man who doesn't rush. In a world addicted to instant gratification, to constant noise, to chasing validation, being slow, being deliberate, being intentional, it stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. And that's exactly what women are drawn to. Not the man who panics when she goes quiet. Not the man who floods her with compliments because he's afraid she might lose interest. But the man who observes, who thinks, who lets things unfold without needing to force anything. That's where real masculine power lives, in the pause. Most men can't handle the pause. Silence makes them anxious. Waiting makes them insecure. But the man who's trained himself 1,000 times to sit with discomfort doesn't need the noise, doesn't need the instant response, doesn't need to prove himself. And ironically, that's when she starts chasing, because now you have become the validation she craves. You have become the thing that feels rare, not by pretending, not by using tactics, but